Now, it's hard to believe it is episode 24 of the Monaghan Way podcast, brought to you in association with Northern Sound Radio and indeed myself, Sean McCaffrey. And we've got a special one this week for you as we're looking ahead to the Universal Graphics Junior Championship final with us here in Monaghan. It's going to be Emyvale taking on Sean McDermott. Throw in 3:30 in Scotstown on Sunday, and indeed O'Neill, Emeralds and Arbog will be providing the curtain raiser to that in their Division 3 Minor Championship final. Now, prior to my guest Kieran Kearns joining me to look ahead to this game, I had an opportunity in the earlier part of this week to go along to the media event that was hosted by Monaghan County Board and to have a chat with the representatives of the two competing clubs, starting firstly with Emyvale. So here we are looking forward to the Universal Graphics Junior Championship final. It is, of course, Emyvale taking on Sean McDermott. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by a number of representatives here from the Emyvale club. I'll turn to the chairman first here, Shane McCormick. And Shane, big occasion for everybody involved with the club.
Yeah, of course it is. Listen, championship finals always special, and the boys said it at the start of the year, the goal was to get to two finals, and in fairness, they've stuck in and done that. So it was great effort by the team and management.
Absolutely. I know it's Silver Hill Duck as the sponsor on the tops there, and we were just having a little gag before the camera went on. The ducks will remain in black and white for this year anyway. There's always a good little battle with them ducks down there.
Less said about the ducks the better, maybe.
You haven't ducked out of the challenge this year, bud.
Well, I haven't ducked out of the challenge, no. So, listen, we might leave them alone for this weekend anyway.
See how things go. Own manager, along, of course, with Brenton here beside us as well. His target, as Shane said, was to get to the two finals. You have achieved that, but probably the expectation was always there that you would do that. Did that bring its own pressures?
I suppose it has, yeah. It's brought that pressure, surely. But thankfully, the boys have trained well all year. And we've just, some of the matches we played well. The last day we didn't play so well, just scraped over the line. So we'll be looking for a performance this weekend. And listen, it's just a two-horse race at this stage. And we just hope to perform and hope to get Emyvale back to intermediate football next year.
From a management perspective, of course, you want to be winning your games, winning them comfortably, but it never does any harm to get a wee awakening by times as well. I suppose it does away with any complacency. Not that I'd say get into the panel, but if you're getting things easy, maybe then it can just leave it that the train of thought is, well, we only have to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when we played Sean McDermott earlier in the league and in the championship stage, we won by 4 points and 5 points in the two matches. So we know what's coming down through the tracks. We only won by a couple of scores the last day against Scotstown. So listen, we'll be looking at ourselves, looking to perform better. Our performance in the semi-final we would feel wouldn't be good enough to win on Sunday. So we'll be just looking to get back up to our proper standards and hit our targets and hopefully get across the line.
I suppose, Brenton, that does be the big focus. Naturally enough, you look at your opposition, but more importantly, it's your own performances you want to get right.
Yes, you always look at the opposition, but again, you're into a final now and you have to worry about your strengths and the positives that you can bring to the performances. But here, listen, Owen said that these boys conducted themselves well all year round. We're favourites all year as the hype goes around. If I had €1 for every time that I heard he's going to walk a junior championship, I'd be a rich man. But it's not going to be easy. It's all in the give. It's all in the day. And you look at the weekend just gone by there. A lot of underdogs won the county finals, and again, it's all down to the day. And whoever performs on the day will take the cup home.
Absolutely, and it's important that you didn't or don't get caught up in that hype, because it's been well spoken around the county. I suppose the expectation, as I said, to own that's on this team.
Yes, there's expectation. Surely we have expected from the start of the year. If we put in that big of an effort, work hard, we'll be there and thereabouts. Now we targeted to get to two finals. We're there on merit as well. But again, anything can happen on that given day. Sending off or anything at all, winter's day, brings teams back to a sort of level playing field as people talk. But here, as Owen says, we played them twice in the league, and once in the league, once in the championship, and we've been down to 2 points with 5 minutes to go in both games, and we just pulled away at the end. So here, it's going to be tight again, and hopefully we come out on the right side of it.
Absolutely. The joint captains are here as well. We have Johnny and James. Johnny, I'll just turn to yourself first. And again, I suppose, whatever the management can say or do in the dressing room, once you cross the white line, it comes down to the performance of the players, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. When you go onto the pitch, you're against your man, and whoever comes out on top, then win on the day.
Absolutely. It is those personal battles, I suppose, and it's about having the confidence in your own ability, naturally enough, as well.
I would be confidence, big part of it. Like, if you're confident going into the game, and we've been moving well all year, we've been getting results, so the team's confident. Like, so that should hopefully be a benefit to us come Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. James, for yourself, the launch of the championships away back here a couple of months ago now, not even weeks, we chatted to you in the room, and even at that time we were talking about it'd probably be a disappointment if Emyvale weren't at the tail end of the competition, and here you are, so you have ticked that box. It's one more step.
Yeah, that night I'd said that we were very disappointed about getting relegated last year, and it was a long winter, and we stuck together as a group, same management and everything, and we just kind of said this year we'd go back at it, but kind of break it down into literally one game at a time, and that's what we've done. And we haven't set the world alight by any means, but we are where we want to be. And as Owen said, the semi-final performance definitely wouldn't be good enough for this weekend coming. So, but everybody's there, and they're chomping at the bit at the minute. There's plenty of competition for places. So, we'll just hopefully bring our best performance on Sunday, and hopefully that'll be enough. That's all you can do.
It is the Universal Graphics Junior Championship final. It is, of course, Sean McDermott taking on Emyvale. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by representatives of the Sean McDermott team. And I'm just going to turn to the man to my left, Michael McMahon here, manager of the side. And looking forward to it. Big occasion for all involved with the club, Michael.
Yeah, it is, Sean. Anytime you get to a championship final, it's a huge occasion for the parish. There's a bit of excitement. We had our breakfast morning the other morning, so there was a good few people in the complex. So it's good. These are days you want to be involved in a championship final, so looking forward to it.
You have timed this run. I was just looking, and I know I was familiar with the championship and coming through in the groups and that, and you would have known in the group stages probably not the performances you would have wanted, but when you got to the knockout end of it, that's when the performance started to come. That's when the results started to come.
Yeah, you could say that the group stages, so we just qualified, I think, on head-to-head, to make the quarterfinals, but yeah, well, we knew there was always a good performance in us. But, there was just days you were unlucky. There was games we lost by a point, here and there. So, it would seem to just time. It looks like it, but we've another step to go. So we'll see how it works out then.
Absolutely. Brian McPhillips, chairman of the club here as well. And I suppose Michael touched on it there. It's always a big occasion for everybody in the club. Travelled up through Corcahan, and I've seen the flags are out and the bunting's out, and everybody's looking forward to it, Brian.
That's right, Sean. Yeah, Saturday now was a busy day around the Corcahan and Treman House, putting up a lot of flags and stuff. And there's a great buzz about the area. Mickey touched there on the breakfast morning. So a huge crowd in the complex yesterday morning for it. It's great. It's great that the lads have got this far. This is my fourth year now as in the chair, and I have to say, to be here in this final is a huge occasion. It's a great occasion. Like any chairman, this is what he wants, to be in a final. Oh,
absolutely. And the thing about it, and the cup that's in front of us here, the Liam Starrett Cup, you were the first club to lift it, I know, back in 2021. And it was during COVID, and I suppose it was the limited numbers and everything else. Now, I know that means you have went up and come back down again. But to do that bounce, to get yourselves back in a position to go back up again as well, that's true testament, not only to management, to players, but to the club as well.
Oh, to the club as well, yeah. But look, we try and help the lads and give them all the backing they need. And this is Mickey's second year now, along with Donlan as his trainer and that. So they have done huge work. And look, at last year we were knocked out after the early stages, but this year definitely you can see the vast improvement of the team as a whole. Everything has changed with them, and it's brilliant to be here.
Absolutely. I have Adam O'Driscoll alongside me here as well. I'm sure you can recall, it was a wet old damp day. I can remember in Ballybay that day against Tome, Adam, but he's got over the line, as I said, the first to pick up this cup, and he is back again, looking to do it once more.
Yeah, obviously that was one of the greatest days playing for the Sean so far, but no point lying, the last couple of years have been quite difficult for us. We've had a right turnover in the team, a few retirements, a few boys moving away, so a lot of the young boys have come in now, and in fairness to them, they're starting to take shape. There's been a real change in mindset this year. We had a very positive league, and we're very much looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting you said that step up into intermediate, and it's quite the ground to try and bring new players in, particularly young players. And some would say sometimes it suits to go junior, rebuild and go again. Now, the difficulty in that when you drop down can be very hard to get back out of it, but here you have that opportunity once more to do it. That shows a fair good depth within the team.
Of course, yeah. As I said, this last 1 or 2 years, a couple of the young boys have come in, they've really started to step up now. And as well as that, we have a couple of minors in this year who've really started to drive the competition for places. So that's been great. It's been very refreshing at training. Trainings have been absolutely great. Look, we're under no illusions with the test that we're in for on Sunday. Emyvale are hot favourites, and we're just going to focus on our own performance and see where it takes us.
I was just going to say that. Does it take a little bit of pressure off? Obviously, you have the pressure yourselves. You just want to win. You just want a championship title. But you're going in as complete and utter underdogs. No point saying any different. So that weight of expectation isn't on the outside coming in on you. It's just the expectation you put on yourselves.
Of course, and there is a massive expectation within the group. Mickey and Donal and the rest of the management team and the club have a lot of belief in us. So we're under no illusions. The task that's ahead on Sunday. But there's a lot of belief in our group that we can put in a good performance, and we'll see where it takes us.
Absolutely. Michael, I'll just turn to you once more. This man to my right-hand side, the experience that's there with him, I'm thinking Pádraig McGurk, a couple of the Rice boys in there and that as well. To be able to work on that experience and then have that youth that's coming in behind it as well, it's a nice blend for any manager to work with.
Oh, it is, yeah. It's important if you're trying to introduce any young players in to have the calibre of Adam, Pádraig, Ashley, Conor Kearns, Ryan Connolly in goals, Big Danny, even lads that were there before, that they step it up in training, so the young fellas will always follow that. So yeah, but it's they have done well. You look at some of the younger players this year that have come on well, and you think they've been around the squad for a few years now. But but as I say, it helps to have the lads like that involved.
Looking forward to the occasion.
We are, yeah. And as Adam says, we're under no illusion. It's going to be. Emyvale are undefeated all year, and they're the best team going into it, and rightly so. We're underdogs, but no, we'll give it a good rattle. There is a bit of a confidence there. We've seen it from the group stages for the last two, the quarter-final and the semi-final. The one thing these guys won't do is they'll not give up. They'll keep working, and we're going to have to work very, very hard to, and hopefully get a bounce of a ball here or there, to win it. But listen, we'll give it a good shot, Sean, on Sunday.
So there you have it. Yeah, the thoughts of both camps ahead of this one. This weekend, as we noted to you, it is the Junior Championship final here in Monaghan. Sean McDermott and Emyvale. And my thanks to Monaghan GAA and indeed to Lavery Video Photography there as well. It's a fantastic feature they do every year on the build-up to the county finals in the 3 grades, is that we get the team management and players in like that and have a chat with them. I'm delighted to know I'm joined by Kieran Kearns just to look ahead to this one, Kieran. And it was interesting, I was just noting to you there, you've experienced from your club perspective of both these teams going into this final this weekend and run both of them tight. You were 1 point shy of Emyvale, probably one of the only teams to have run them as tight as that all of this year. And obviously, I know, beaten by a similar margin then by Sean McDermott in the semi-final.
Yeah, by a point in the semi-final, the Sean's as well, yeah. The Emyvale, Scotstown drew at them as well earlier on in the year, so I think Scotstown and Corn are the only 2 teams who really push Emyvale to the pin or a collar. So they'll be glad to see both of them gone. But then saying that, Sean's have all the armory to cause an upset here, so they do. But it's going to be a big ask for them, Sean. Obviously, Emyvale have been hot favourites from the get-go, and that they were the team to beat. And in fairness to them, they've held that responsibility of favourites, that favourite tag quite well. They're unbeaten throughout the year. So they've done remarkably well, and we do know that they've a number of injury concerns coming back into the fold. Potentially Johnny Wright, one of their captains, he might be carrying an injury. If he's fully fit, he'd be a massive asset. And then, of course, we jump straight into it with Carl Gallagher back in the fold there as well, too, carrying a bit of an injury. What sort of how much game time he'd play will be interesting to see. And of course, the big bit of news, I suppose, Sean, that Niall Kearns is also available for Sean McDermott, and that has just added an extra bit of space to the whole affair. So very much looking forward to it with these 2 big names back into the fold.
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny Wright, obviously, you would have seen, was with us on Monday night. He didn't say too much in regards to what fitness was like, so they're playing everything coy and quiet on that side of things. but you did mention the two big names, and it is a junior final, and I'm not putting it down in any way, but these are two massive names from an inter-county perspective from Monaghan from previous years. Went off, played their trade in the land down under, and here they are back with us again. And as a manager, how do you deal or work with something like that? Like, you can't leave these guys out, but at the same time, you've worked with the team that you've had for the past year to get to where you are. Is it a disruption, maybe? And I hate using that word, to be bringing the likes of these guys back in again. What they can contribute is massive, but do you change what has been a winning team?
It'd be very easy to answer that from a Sean McDermott's point of view, because Niall Kearns for me goes straight in, absolutely go straight in and go straight into the middle of the park, into the deep end. This is a one-game scenario, and there's a massive prize at the end of it. So I think they throw him straight in, because Sean's are, not that they've been having issues, but in terms of the defensive shape or their man markers, they have a good man marker there in Ashley Maguire. But definitely the likes of James Murphy, who plays midfield, he could drop back then and pick up Niall McKenna, who's very dangerous for Emyvale, and Niall Kearns to slot in to midfield. You know, they're very physically strong around the middle third, with McGurk in there as well. And I think they're going to have to bring that physicality to Emyvale if they're going to have any hope of getting over the line. And for me, Kearns straight into the middle of the field and Murphy back into the full back line gives them a big platform to really go after, to bring that physicality and go after Emyvale.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it as well, and I think Niall was back for one game and now is back for this one as well, in that setting up tactically Emyvale, they'll be familiar with Niall Kearns. We're all familiar with what he brings to the game, but they'll not have played Sean's with Niall there. So it's something they're going to have to think about, factor in. Is the thought, is he going to start? Is he going to be brought in? As you says, it's plain and simple, he has to start if he's there.
Yeah, he does. And from Emyvale perspective, like Carl Gallagher, like if what I'm hearing is correct, that he's about 20-25 minutes in him, do you start him to cancel out the impact that Kearns will have on it from a Sean's point of view and let the two of them cancel each other out? Or do you leave him in reserve and weather the storm, I suppose, and then introduce him with 20 minutes to go, and it's a big lift for the team, and you know it might be enough of a momentum shift to get them over the line. It's an interesting one from an Emyvale one. I suspect that Carl won't start and that they'll probably introduce him, but from a Sean's perspective, I think without a doubt that Kieran starts.
Isn't it just fascinating? Junior captain final, and here we are talking about, and we don't want to make it's not an individualistic sport whatsoever, but as I said, these are two household names from an inter-county perspective. Back here again, I'd imagine Gabriel Bannigan's definitely going to be on the terraces in Scottstown come Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, we know Carol's holding full time now anyway, and Niall's still out in Australia, but wouldn't it be brilliant to have both of them home and both of them involved back in the county scene again and give the whole thing a lift, especially the county, the actual county footballers themselves, to give them a great lift to have the boys back, because Sean, the modern day of football is built for these two pair of boys. We all know that the long kick out now is back, and that high fielding is back, and Carl Gallagher, I would have seen Carl playing at minor level with the county minors when they do a great run, and his biggest attribute is the high feeling. I have never seen a man that catch a ball quite like him since or before. And Niall Kearns, we all know that he is that attribute as well, and it'd be a brilliant battle to watch the pair of boys. But as you rightly say, Sean, there's a lot more to it than just them pair of boys.
Yeah, there certainly is an awful lot more to it. And maybe you noted it there, touched on Emyvale, found themselves down in junior football. When that occurred and happened, there would have been a lot of people would have passed comment that Emyvale would be way too strong for junior football. And they've proven that, as you said, they're unbeaten. They've come through the championship. They're also in the league final. But they still have to go out and win this game this weekend. And speaking to Owen Lennon, I know complacency isn't something that would be getting into them in any way. But there could be that danger of getting caught. You know, you can get belief into players, but when you've come through, dare I say, so comfortably, or you've so much in your ability and on your shoulders to achieve, that sometimes that weight can become too much, or can it?
No, I don't think these boys will be over there'll be no egos with them. They're there to do a job, and if Owen and Benny there have them well primed and well ready for this too. The only thing that I could see them being caught, I suppose, is bad weather, underfoot conditions get heavy, a sending off, a red card, or poor refereeing decision or something like that. That could really upset them from that point of view. The other big one for me, Sean, is, and I've said it a number of times now, if Sean bring that physicality, that's the one thing that Emyvale don't like. And it could pin the back a bit, but I still think they've too much in their armory, too much firepower, and they can deal with all them. I suspect they can deal with them all. But look, until you're tested, you don't really know. But and to be fair, they haven't really been tested yet. Corn put them, they lost by a point. Scotsman drew at them. And I know this from a Corn perspective that gave Corn serious belief that they could beat them, and they knew that if they got another crack at them, that they potentially could have beat them. Like, they didn't fear them, and I suspect that Sean's wouldn't fear them either.
I was just going to say that'll be the one thing that Sean's won't go in with or shouldn't be going in with is any sort of fear. And talking to Adam O'Driscoll, the one thing I remarked to him, I says that yous have no pressure on you. Only the pressure they put on them within themselves from the bunch or the group of players and the management. There's no expectation outside of that. Sometimes it's the best place to be going in as massive underdogs into an encounter like this, because win and you've caused one of the biggest upsets. Give them a good game and well done to you. Lose and, well, listen, it was always going to be maybe a step too far.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say, but I can tell you, with inside that camp, them boys will be putting pressure on themselves because they'll believe that they can win it. I think there were 4 or 5 points they lost by in the championship. There was only 2 points in it with 5, 10, 15 minutes to go, so they were well within the game. Maybe Neil Kearns will give them that wee bit extra, 5 or 10%. But that man that you mentioned, O'Driscoll, Adam O'Driscoll's having the season of his life, Sean. He's paramount to their success. If his conversion rate now has to be very, very high on Sunday for them to get over the line or to have a chance to get over the line. And he scored, I think, 14 points against Corn, and he's the top scorer in the junior championship this year, if I'm not mistaken. And he is going to be extremely important for Sean's if they're to get over the line.
It certainly is. And he's a strong built player, and I know he'll take no offense in me saying that, but he's very swift and very quick on his feet. And it must be said, he's got an incredible sweet left foot as well to strike off.
Oh, physically strong, powerhouse. Center of gravity low to the ground, built like a tank, I suppose. The sweetest left foot that you could ask for. Won't sit in at full forward, will roam out around the D, look for them quick balls, and he'll be a 2-point king there as well from the edge of the 40-meter arc. And Cork McGurk is a similar build player, very, very physical, and will take that physical approach to Sean's. Runs in a straight line. He's a powerful run from deep, and he also can score from 2 points. I know he done like in Corn as well. So they have the power. It's whether or not it just all clicks for them on the day.
It's interesting, both teams, when you look at them and their makeup as well, not only are they maybe bringing back these players that would have been detrimental to them both, no point saying any different. That's probably what's seen them drop from intermediate back to junior, was losing the quality of players that they did lose, some through retirement, some that went on their travels, some through injury. But they've a nice blend and balance of youth and experience. Both sides have. And we talked about it last week where you tend to be about Scotstown. They got the heads and the legs now, and both these teams have that sort of in abundance as well.
Yeah, well, Emyvale more so, I would say. Like, they have a young lad there, David Duffy. He's a very good footballer too, and you don't hear much of him around, but he's lightning fast, and he brings that speed into the Emyvale game, which they love, is their transition from offense to defense. They do it at serious pace, and he's a key element into that. The likes of Ben Ryan, who comes off the pitch. Ben Ryan was a wonderful minor. He got man the match in the minor Division 1 final when Emyvale won it, and Clonus that there was at it. And Niall McKenna, he's only 22, 23 years of age as well, at the top of his game. Young Matty Finn, who is on the Monaghan under-20s team this year as well. So and of course their vice captain or captain Johnny Wright, still only 20 as well. So they've a lot of youth, but the youth that they have has a lot of experience, and believe it or not, I suppose the youth is their main is their main threat on the Emyvale side. They have a lot of firepower up front, and them few people that I've mentioned there as well. The younger lads on the Sean's team, not so much in terms of that leadership. The leadership's coming from the older brigade, the likes of Mark McGurk and James Murphy, Adam O'Driscoll, and Niall Kearns, obviously, and Paddy Kieran in there as well. Like he's a serious threat as well, and he's one that Emyvale is going to have to keep their eye on. Hugely experienced player, brilliant engine, will loiter around the pitch, doesn't seem to play in any specific sort of an area, and can get on the ball, and has scored a number of goals throughout the championship too. So look, it's going to be an interesting battle, Sean. It's one that I'm looking forward to.
It'll be interesting. I haven't actually looked far enough into the weekend yet, weather-wise, what we're expecting. I think it was given it to be maybe a sort of a cool autumnal evening, best to describe it. To me, I think Sean's on it. You alluded to it yourself there as well. A softer pitch, maybe a bit of a wind, a drop of rainfall, and it would just suit the style of game that they'd like to bring.
Absolutely. The heavier the pitch, the wetter the conditions will suit Sean's, and it'll suit that. Not that they're a doubt team, because they've plenty of ability on the team, but definitely Emyvale like the hard ground, the running style of football, they're a running team, and they can kick it as well. But the McMahon in there too, he gets on a lot of ball for them, and Daniel McMahon, and he likes to run at them. So that is their game. They're a running team, and they fancy themselves on a hard ground. The softer the better for Sean's, in my opinion, Sean, come Sunday.
And your opinion then, it's hard to look past Emyvale, isn't it?
You can't look past them. Like if Emyvale perform at any sort of level to win the game, and it's quite as simple as that. And that's not being in any way disrespectful to Sean's, because the proof is in the pudding. It's been the case all year. And while one or two teams have got close, they haven't got close enough. And Emyvale have eventually won 99% of their games. They drew one. Sean's I don't think it's going to be by no means a hammering game. Like there's 4 or 5 points between Sean's and Emyvale anytime they played this year. I know Scotstown got very close to them, got very close to Emyvale the last day out. So it's definitely going to go down to the wire. But you just feel with the depth of the squad that Emyvale have, they'll have a bit more in the legs, and that they will pull away 5 or 10 minutes to go. Maybe only win by 2 or 3 points, but I expect them to win the game, Sean.
Yeah, indeed. And should note, for those maybe that are putting their ear to this podcast, not maybe overly familiar with the Emyvale club, least we forget it's also the home club of Ryan McInnesby and Micheál Hamill, who are 2 regulars on a Monaghan County panel as well, both unfortunately out through injury. So it shows the quality of what Emyvale have and the expectation. And that's why they're such strong favourites, the expectation for them to make the move up. Just briefly, Kieran, last weekend we had the pleasure of being in St. Chernock's Park, Cronus, for the 2 county semi-finals. Scotstown getting one over Clontibret. I was reminded during the course of the week that there was a man on the Monaghan Way podcast called Clontibret against Scotstown. So you've got that, and your ears have maybe been warm in the last couple of days. Enniskeane against Maracloon. But, 2 fascinating games, 2 completely different types of games, but they still make up what should be a cracking final.
Yeah, I'll have to live that one down now for a long time. Thanks for bringing that up and reminding everybody. But it's Scotstown, like they weathered the storm. Clontibret threw everything. They threw the kitchen sink at them, and they were 1-3 to a point up, I think, and it looked like they were going to go places. But Scotstown being Scotstown, they're not county champions for the last 10 years for no reason. They showed a serious belief in themselves, a hunger and a desire, which was palpable, I suppose, throughout the team. And it was easy on the eye, Sean. And of course, they have the quality then to do damage when they get their hands on the ball. And fairness to Clontibret, they really did throw the kitchen sink at it, ran out of steam with 10-15 to go. And then the other side, Enniskeane pulled away from Maracloon. Maracloon did put up a fight for about 15 or 20 minutes into the first half, but we think that probably that big game against Carduff probably came back and haunt them a wee bit in terms of the legs and the bodies probably started to give up, and Enniskeane pulled away. But definitely these for an interesting final, Sean.
Listen, we look forward to it all. We're at the business end of things here when it comes to championships. It is the first of the county titles to be handed out this weekend. It is, of course, from a junior perspective. It's Emyvale taking on Sean McDermott.